And then Matias Marin starts in goal for Inter Miami too.
Yeah, Matias Marin is a fantastic young prospect, great shot stopper, but I think this Inter Miami CF2 side has a lot of young potential national team players. Daniel Pinter just came back from the US U18 national team, but there is a lot more experience in Miami FC, but they haven't been able to put them onto the field and get wins and results in the USL Championship as yet. So really, it's very difficult to predict what will happen in tonight's game.
Inter Miami CF2 in the pink, Miami FC in the white. Josh Appel, Chris Nurse with you from Chase Stadium as we get the go-ahead, and we're underway in round 2 of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. On the mental side, but physically as well.
As you can see, Miami FC currently dropping off and allowing them time and space. So
this is offside. The flag came up. Daniel Pinter leaked behind the defense, but again, that flag came up for offside.
But you also see the quality. He's a little bit early in his run, but
in a format like this, tournament like this, against competition and guys who are physically bigger, a lot more experience, how beneficial is just the situation in general for a team like Inter Miami and the rest of the next pro squads that are in this tournament? Get to it in a moment. Cohen, nice play defensively. Got that out of harm's way by Matias Romero, but it will be a corner for Inter Miami too.
Miami FC have to be very careful. As we spoke about, Cohen is a player anywhere in and around the box. If he gets his shot off more often than not, it's in the back of the net. He has a tremendous ability to score goals in and around the 18-yard box, and he was coming very close there.
So first corner of the night for either side. Into the 11th minute. The in-swinger on its way. It's a good one. The header just wide. Pinter nearly put Inter Miami 2 up 1-0.
An opportunity he's had in these opening 10 minutes. Always dangerous in and around the 18-yard box. And it's interesting because he's in a lot more central positions in tonight's game, and you can see the threat that he's posing.
I don't like the start if you're Lobo Ledesma for Inter Miami 2. And part of what played in Inter Miami 2's favor against Miami United, those young legs. You talk about the inexperience, but there were a lot of guys in their mid-30s up there in age on Miami United, and by the time the second half rolled around, it seemed like Inter Miami 2 just had more energy, their legs underneath them, and then of course it didn't help that Miami United ended up, I mentioned it earlier, but this is the 17th Open Cup match for Miami FC. And every game but one has been played in the Miami metro area, except for a game at Orlando City in 2017. 17 games in this tournament, all in the state of Florida.
I think there's a couple factors that make this affair a little bit more spicy. As you spoke about, Miami FC have been around for a longer existence than Inter Miami CF2. So naturally, they may feel, even though it's maybe a new squad, maybe there's not many players that have been, if any player that's been on the roster since 2015, since its existence. But as an organization and as a team, as a franchise, they should feel that sense of superiority given they've been around for a little bit longer. Number 2, it's a South Florida derby. Both of these teams are within a 25-minute drive from each other. Spices things up. I'm sure there's players on both rosters. In fact, we know there's players on both rosters. Brandon Bent.
Toronto rolled one on. It was handled by Marine.
Brandon Bent, who's on the bench for Miami FC tonight, was previously an Inter Miami Academy player. So there's a number of players who will know each other on these benches. And then you also have the rivalry of USL Championship versus MLS Next Pro. So you're competing to see the dominance of both of these individual leagues. So there's 3 things that will play into the factor tonight of the intensity and the mindset of players going into this game.
In what world are you getting from Miami FC's home stadium, Pitbull Stadium at FIU, to Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale in 25 minutes?
Depends who's driving. Depends who's driving.
Well, I mean, who's driving for you, Jeff Gordon? Max Verstappen?
All right, 35.
Even then? I wish it was 35 minutes. Maybe no traffic. The outside for Flores. Hall. For Sparks, he gets it back. Sparks has room and he takes advantage of it. Zeltzer Zubida. Trades with Pinter. Has it taken away by Gavilanes. And now Miami FC is trying to counter with numbers. Bonfiglio lays it off to the outside. Comes out in front, kick save by Marin. Pops into the air, punched away again by Marin.
Opportunity here for Miami FC to take the lead in a game where they've been far, far below what's expected. Here, at least that ball's got to get past Marin in goal. Two fantastic shot stops. No clinicality. They haven't been clinical in the final third. In a game of this magnitude, and you get an opportunity like that, you have to be taking those opportunities. If you're not able to control the possession of the ball, the one or two opportunities that you do get on the counter-attack, you have to make those moments count, because you're not going to get too many of those moments. I think that's the first meaningful opportunity they may have had in this first half, and it was a fantastic opportunity.
Hall ahead for Pinter. He's cut off by Ricketts. They go at it. Ricketts. Zeltzer Zubida wins that, but it is still out for a throw-in. Good effort, though.
And I think it was something that you spoke about earlier, was the physicality. There's not been a difference in physicality in this game so far.
Gavilanes lays it off. Farena got a piece of that cross.
It's not a game right now where you say the teenagers are losing every 50-50 or they're losing the battles. Obviously, I'm speaking, then a strong tackle goes in, and exactly what I'm saying happens. But to play and move the ball is a lot smarter than relying on a physicality. And
well, partner, we were both wrong. No stoppage time in the first half. That'll do it. The halftime whistle comes.
Probably controlling the game. They're going to continue to build confidence. They were at halftime. They would have heard that Columbus beat a USL Championship team 2-0. They just beat Columbus 4-2. It's going to build on their confidence and belief. And on top of that, I think there's a number of youngsters on the bench from IMC who can come into the game and continue to build on the attack even further, with Saha, with Jack Pym, who has the eye for the killer pass, with Basabi, who we saw get an assist from the wide areas. I think they're players that can come in later on in the second half and give Miami FC a lift. I mean, give Inter Miami a lift. For Miami FC, I think they started with it, but
taken away, Gavilanes from distance. He's just nowhere close there.
And again, this is probably the third time that Inter Miami FC have given the ball up in the defensive third, just through probably a little bit of lackluster passing. But Miami FC have lacked the quality, the intensity to make anything meaningful of it. Look how good that opportunity is, whether to slide somebody in or run into the box and get a good shot on target. It's just a hopeful left-footed shot hit from 25 yards that only sends the ball boys running. It didn't threaten anybody else.
It's got to be a helpless feeling when you're ambitious like that, and you send it hopefully on frame, and it just comes nowhere close.
And it's frustrating because I want to see the Miami FC that we used to see, the dominant Miami FC that had top players coming out, exciting players who have played at competitions. They weren't just big names on paper. They were big names when they got onto the field and they played, and you saw their first touch, and you saw their movement, and you saw their finishing capabilities. This is far from that.
Over the top it comes. Zeltzer Zubida trying to get there. Nice tackle, but Zeltzer Zubida right back on it for Inter Miami 2. No subs for either side. Zeltzer Zubida gets it back. Zeltzer Zubida, who scored in round 1, gets shoved to the ground. And the yellow comes out emphatically.
And when you look at the numbers here, it's 4 versus 1. Zeltzer Zubida has no business driving in between here, let alone Miami FC.
For Inter Miami 2, they scored in the 49th minute for the first time in round 1. Zeltzer Zubida takes back post. He tried to go for goal, past the outstretched arms.
Well wide, but I think the unexpected timing that he took it had Hamid a little bit worried there. You can see by the way.
A goal and an assist in league play, scored against Miami United. Sparks takes it away. His through ball was cut off by Ricketts. Sparks battles there. Pops up and controlled by Milano, and then he lost it. Now gets it back. That's through Gavilanes. So let's see if Miami FC can do something with this opportunity. Gavilanes takes it. Deflects around. See Bonfiglio frustrated, and from distance! Oh, that's an ambitious attempt. Saw well high.
Tons of confidence to hit this on the half volley from maybe 25 yards. It's not a bad effort at all. He connects very well with it.
Flores in the middle. U-Haul Cohen. Cohen from behind gets shoved down. And another foul, another advantageous spot for a free kick for Inter Miami 2.
I think this yellow card, this foul is more of a yellow card than the yellow card we saw given to Abadia Rada early in the first half. He knows he's not getting there. He doesn't touch the ball. He shoves him from the back.
Two-hand shove. Blatant. No card. Just a free kick coming.
You can see the abundance of players here lining up to take this one. You've got Cohen, you've got Pinter, you've got Flores. Any one of those three has the capability to finish from this distance.
Who do you think should take it if you're Inter Miami 2?
Cohen looks like he's currently the ball bully. He's got it in his hands, put it down. Doesn't look like he's letting anybody else anywhere close to it. Maybe it's a little bit of deception. We'll see who strikes it. We spoke about Cohen having a hot foot. Anything in and around the 18-yard box, he just has a way of finding the back of the net.
So it's Cohen who goes for goal, and Hamid with a massive stop keeps this one scoreless.
As we spoke about, Cohen can be very quiet and then just pop up. He has quality ability to fit, or just having those goal-scoring instincts.
Here comes the in-swinger. It's over everybody.
The game's starting to get stretched, which means counter-attacks and transition defense becomes vitally important as the game runs on. The ability to get 8-9 players behind the ball in transition moments is vital, and you're seeing both teams essentially lack that capability right now. Players starting to struggle in the heat with cramp. This is where the substitutions are going to have a big part in this game, and as we spoke about, Brandon Bent, a player who can stretch opponents. Looks like he's dressed and ready to enter this game. The former Inter Miami U16 player, I believe.
Ricardo Rivera also getting ready to come in. He enters for Lucas Milano. Vasquez exits. Bent enters.
As you mentioned, Ben, a former Inter Miami CF Academy player, would have been teammates with a number of these players on the pitch. It's 2007, so that makes him 16, 17. He predominantly, his age group would be a U18
He's
right
18,
now. So
yeah.
Nick Almeida would have been his teammate. Pinto would have been his teammate.
This match an hour old. Rivera in for Milano, Bent in for Vasquez, the only two subs for either side so far. Taken away by Bonfilio. He springs to the outside, Bent just into the game. Flicks it back in, comes on, and the stop made again by Marin.
A good matchup on this side of the field is going to be Tyler Hall, obviously up against Brandon Bent, and his first contribution to the game is a hang-up cross into the box.
Ready to put it back in play. Ooh. Metrano aggressive. Zeltzer Zubita's taking a beating, a zoo beating tonight.
I'm not an advocate for violence, but it's about time the more older, maturer team started to exude a little bit of physicality in the game. It's a way, there's little inches that you can get in the game, and of course that's one way you can gain an advantage over your opponents. There's psychological, there's the little nudging and the stuff that happens in the game. From Miami FC, they've been very nice so far in this game.
Just as a reminder, Hamid has to be aggressive to come get that. If we do remain tied after regulation, we will go to extra time. And if we're still deadlocked after extra time, we will head to PKs. Romero flicks it towards the back post. Header on goal. Easily gobbled up by Marin.
Back and issue a yellow card for this. A little bit extra airtime, a little extra to a few rolls.
And there's that viral morning routine.
The referee did come back, does look like he's come back to issue the yellow card, which I think is probably the right decision in this situation.
So let's take a look at.
But in order to advance, in order to win, they have to turn that into goal-scoring opportunities, and they have to capitalize, because as the match goes on, you would expect at some point the experience that Miami FC have to kick in and be able to manage the game. There's the substitution we were speaking about, Abadia Reda leaving the game for Basabe coming in, like-for-like substitution.
But Basabe had an assist in round one. Miami FC will make a substitution as well. Dejan Veron will enter. Long free kick here. Gavilanes standing over it. Here it comes. Nobody home, only Basabe in pink.
Just needed to be aware of what was around him there, Basabe. There was no player closing him down. He had enough time to turn and get the ball under control and look for the pass forward.
Flicked on. Cleared away. Cagnode. And that one deflect, and a chance for Zeltzer Zubida, but he's cut off by Bent. That one split the difference between Cohen and Saha, and Miami FC can take over.
I do feel Miami FC just starting to grow it a little bit more into the game now. Manages to sustain possession of the ball for just a little bit longer than they were earlier in the game. Good sequence of passing here. Here's that 1v1 matchup we spoke about. Victor Fong currently on a yellow card.
Basabe gets there first. Pim couldn't track it down. Gavilanes into the 18, spin and a fire, deflects, and then goes out for a corner.
Good job on the edge of the box there, just to get the ball out of his feet and turn. Not sure whether to...
For this corner for Miami FC. Punched out by Marin.
But if you're a young player, you're coming into the game, you're coming in off the bench, of course you want to get stuck in, you want to make a name for yourself, you want to catch the coach's eye, you need to play with aggression. It's not you want to play with aggression, it's a must when you're coming against a team that's older than you and maybe a little bit more physical than you. You need to stamp your authority and not allow yourself to be dominated.
Rivera. Now Romero. Ricketts. Service comes in. Bent. Working on Fung. Fung wins that battle, but fortunately for Miami FC, it is a corner.
Good defending there from Fung. You can see sometimes players go in that situation, they rush in, they dangle their foot. The attacker's tricky, plays out their feet, and they give away a penalty. Fung does a good job of just being patient, holding his ground. He doesn't allow Bent to get round him, and then he blocks the cross.
The 84th minute. Here comes the corner for Miami FC. It's low and flicked through. It took 83 minutes. But Miami FC might be on their way to round 3.
And it was always going to come from something crazy. A low-driven cross, and it's just a flick at the near post.
Bonfilio.
For Inter Miami CF tonight.
And there is the final whistle. A valiant effort by Inter Miami 2. But it's the USL Championship side, Miami FC,